So welcome to today's update, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Before we get started, I've just got a few little housekeeping notes. Your microphones are all muted to ensure that you have no audio descriptions and distractions along the way. We do welcome your participation. So if you have any questions throughout, we'll give you an opportunity to ask any questions at the end, but please do let us know in the tasks, the question bar at the bottom. Finally, we recommend that you choose gallery view for the best viewing, and we'll be able to talk you through everything. And so now let's get started. So my name is Andrew Gallagher. I'm the Regional Director of Sales and Marketing here at A&K Europe, based in the Cotswolds. I'm delighted to be joined by some of my colleagues today and some of my partners, and we're going to talk you through some of the best emerging islands in Greece, Paros and Naxos. Today, I'm delighted to be joined with my colleague Ellie, who's going to be talking you through the islands a little bit in terms about the destination itself, how to get there, and why you should be visiting these beautiful islands. And then our partners from Maria from Canova Hotels and also Konstantinos from Naxian Collection in Naxos are going to be talking you through the beautiful properties on Paros and Naxos. So we should be around about 30 minutes and we'll allow for some questions after. And so let's get started and we can take you into these beautiful islands of Greece. So Ellie, over to you.
Thanks, Andy. Hi, everyone. As Andy mentioned, my name's Ellie, and I was fortunate enough to actually visit Paros and Naxos in October. So as we're just going to go through some of the highlights of the islands with you. So for Greece in general, obviously with its quaint fishing villages, mouth-watering cuisine and stunning sunsets, the allure of the Greek islands draws in thousands of visitors year on year. While Crete, Santorini and Mykonos have their own unique charms, international travellers are yet to discover many of the nation's inhabited islands, which still retain their authentic feel. So Abercrombie and Kent have explored and studied every inch of the Aegean Sea to understand how these islands are suited to your clients, and two up-and-coming names really stood out. So let's show you around Paros and Naxos. So starting with Paros, sorry, I'm just on another slide. So as with any Greek island, the best way of reaching Paros and Naxos is to make your way first to Athens, an ancient destination that needs little introduction, but definitely deserves a few days exploring itself. And transcontinental flights arrive and depart from the capital each day, and the airport serves as a crucial hub for exploring the many islands of the Aegean Sea. Direct seasonal flights operate from Athens to Paros and Naxos with a journey time of approximately 45 minutes. And there are also some great private options available via boat, helicopter from Athens, Mykonos and Santorini. So starting with Paros, adding a cosmopolitan feel to the classic scenes of whitewashed houses and sun-kissed beaches, Paros gives its guests the best of both worlds. With the island's growing party reputation, it makes it ideal for couples that are looking for fun without wanting to deal with the peak season queues elsewhere. Another great advantage of Paros is that it only takes about 45 minutes to drive from north to south, so the guests can really explore the whole island and still have enough downtime to enjoy the stunning beaches and the hotel facilities, which I'm sure Maria can go into more details for you. So what to do in Paros? While the nightlife of Perikia is undoubtedly a draw for some, guests will find plenty of options all over Paros when venturing out in the daytime too. So starting with some of the island's highlights, guests can explore Paros on a half-day sightseeing tour that reveals the 13th century Venetian castle in Perikia and the ancient island capital of Lefkes. Or alternatively, they can make the short ferry trip across to the neighbouring island of Antiparos to discover its stunning caverns, which are adorned with stalagmites and stalactites. Yacht excursions are highly recommended. So for the ultimate Greek experience, they can take to the seas on a luxury yacht, exploring the idyllic little archipelagos and enjoy some blissful rest beneath the sun. And as well as nearby Paros, guests can easily reach the Caribbean off the Aegean and many more stunning islets, exploring remote caves and snorkeling in crystal clear waters. And I had the opportunity to take a boat to the Blue Lagoon on my recent trip, which was simply stunning, and it's highly recommended. And Maria can discuss with you further regarding the catamaran that the properties on Paros own. And moving on to food and wine, guests can discover the island's homemade produce on a culinary tour that takes in organic family farms before savouring delicious meze at a traditional taverna. Wine lovers can also enjoy a private tour and tasting at a Naxos winery, which is in a conveniently located walking distance from Cosme Hotel. And while more adventurous guests can even take part in a cooking class that gives a fascinating first-hand insight into the island cuisine. And furthermore, there's some hiking adventures. So relaxation is not an obligation on the island, and those seeking some more active excursions might like to put their hiking boots on and hit the ancient Byzantium road. It's only a few miles long and the trail isn't too strenuous, but it offers the chance for guests to explore the verdant island and, of course, finishing off with a wine and meze in the village.
Thank you so much for that. Perfect. So now we've touched on Paros, we're going to go into a little bit more detail with Maria. If you want to tell us a little bit about your two beautiful hotels as well.
Absolutely. Hello, everyone. I am Maria. I'm the sales manager of Canava Hotels and Resorts. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being able to attend our webinar. So maybe you know already our company from our properties in Santorini. So just a short description for our company. Can you see my screen? Oh, okay, thank you. So Canava Hotels and Resorts.
If you want to put it onto full presentation mode.
It is. You cannot see it?
We can just see the full screen, but we can see also the slides down the side as well. But it's fine. It's okay. We can see it.
I do not have any other mode.
It's okay. It's fine. We can see that. Don't worry.
So probably you know already our company from the hotels in Santorini, Vedema, which opened back in 1993, Mystique, Historia, and a great collection of villas. And then Paros is our new gem. We started with our first hotel in Paros in 2019, Parilio, which is already quite popular, quite in high demand actually. This year we opened Cosme in mid of June. Cosme is a new property. It's a beachfront property, another successful property. And part of our company is also Akron Villas, a complex of villas. Today I'm talking about Parilio and Cosme, which you will be able to book through Abercrombie. And I'm sure you might know them already because we had some great exposure already. So Ellie already talked about how you can reach Paros. I'm just adding that there is a great connection as well, as she said, through Santorini. So a great combination actually to offer to your clients two completely different islands. Santorini is the dramatic ambience, the dramatic views, and Paros is the more authentic villas, like you see the Greek authentic life. And you can explore beaches, you can savor Greek food, of course, as everywhere, but it's still quite more unspoiled. Same with Naxos, that is also part of this combination. So we are located on the northern part of the island, to the Cosmos from the one side of Naxos and the other from the other side of Naxos. So as Ellie described, this is a beautiful village in blue and white, reminding you a lot of Mykonos, but still quite unspoiled. Our property Parilio is located close to this beach that you see, Kolibithres Beach, which is quite famous because of the rock formations that exist there. So we're quite close to this beach, like 13, 15 minutes walk. So Parilio is a member of Design Hotels. The name derives from Paros and Ilios, which means Paros and sun. So it's well connected to the island. This is a very well-known property for its design. It has been awarded several times by many awards. This is the views from the top. So as you can see, it's close to the sea. It's not sea view property, only from the top floor suites. You can see you have the views to the sea, but as you see, it's in a very good proximity to the beach. We embrace the traditional Paris architecture. Actually, this was an existing building which we transformed. We kept the Cycladic architecture, and we added, of course, some elegance, and more elegance. In the middle, there is an imposing cross-shaped pool. I would say actually a very beautiful area to rest, to chill out, to watch the sunset, to enjoy a cocktail. So in total, 33 suites, authentic and organic Greek experience. You feel the light color palette, as you can see in the rooms. The top suite is a sun suite with a private pool. There's 2 of them. And of course, in total, there are 4 categories, all quite spacious, starting for around 30-35 square meters. And going to the sun suite with a private pool. You can have suites with outdoor jacuzzis. All of them have terraces or balconies. There are also sets of interconnecting rooms. So saying this, it's also a good opportunity to mention that this is a property ideal for everyone. So you can recommend it to couples, families, friends, honeymooners, everyone actually. A hotspot of the hotel is the restaurant. It's led by the Michelin-starred chef, Alexandros Sotinis. It's modern Greek Mediterranean cuisine. Indeed, everyone that has stayed in our property would say something good about the food. It's part of our company's mentality. We focus a lot on food and beverage, and for sure, Parilio, it's also very distinguished in this aspect. The experience at Parilio, some already mentioned by Ellie, venture out to Naxos. Naxos is in very good proximity, like 4 minutes drive, or some people prefer to walk as well, but of course it takes a bit longer. And of course, visiting the stunning Kolibithres Beach, which is like 15 minutes walk, 13-15 minutes walk. And why not explore Parika, as Ellie said, the Frankish castle. A tip here, we urge you to enjoy some local recipes, like the salaturi that you see on the right from our Michelin-starred chef, Alexandros Sotinis. Now, to sum it up, just a few things to remember about Parilio. This is the first 5-star branded property on the island of Paros, which also gave us a big popularity. Imagine when we opened in 2019, there was no other branded property on the island. So directly we gained, it's like being in a new map, being part Paros of a new map. It's ideal for couples, families, single travelers, small groups and retreats. The location is absolutely convenient, within walking distance from the famous Kolibithres Beach and from Naxos Center, which is the most cosmopolitan area on the island. And of course, Parilio stands out for its elegant and sophisticated design. Now, going to our newest gem, Cosme. Cosme opened its doors on the 15th of June. It's part of the luxury collection chain of Marriott. Cosme directly became very popular. It's a hit again. It's the hot place to be in Paros. This property has everything. The location is absolutely great. It's a beachfront property with our private beach, sandy beach. And imagine also it's in Naxos. It's walking distance from Naxos Center, just like 10 minutes walk. So for couples, families, honeymooners, teenagers, is the absolute greatest location. It's easy to navigate the island again. There is a parking lot there. We highly recommend people to rent a car to explore the island. But still, you know, when you want to be more secluded and more relaxed, you have the beach here. You have a scenic, huge pool to enjoy. And also, you're right next to Naxos, the cosmopolitan area. Now here, the design again is Cycladic Aryan. We have many influences from the Paros port, from the fishermen of the islands. So you will see this kind of elements in the design. This is the half moon shaped pool. It's a spectacular indeed pool. You can enjoy a magic sunset, and as you can see, at the back, this is the town, the Naxos town. Now going to the rooms, it's an all suites property, 40 suites. So again, a boutique hotel. It looks like a narrative, a luxurious narrative of Paros. Again, light colors, truly soothing, very traditional, very connected to the island and its architecture and the design, but imagine completely different from Parilio. So don't expect to see two same hotels. They're completely different. There are suites with private pools, with views to the sea, with all of them with private terraces or balconies, some of them with jacuzzis, but for sure, all of them offer a spacious area, indoor area, and a beautiful outdoor space. And again here, the food and beverage department is truly stunning. It's truly amazing. We're lucky to have the chef Yannis Keoroglu. Yannis is a celebrated chef. He's Greek, and his cuisine called Medite Creation is already popular in Cannes and Saint Barth. He's the one who is leading La Petite Maison in Cannes, if you happen to know. So we're lucky to have him there. He's leading our restaurant, our beachfront restaurant, Paros, for lunch and dinner, and also the breakfast area, Volta, where we offer a la carte Greek breakfast, and of course with many, many options. The wellness hub at Cosme is something spectacular as well. Elio Spa, it's our own brand, as you see on the left, 2 treatment rooms and a jacuzzi. And on the right, you can see a stunning, again, stargazing area. We use this area also for yoga retreats or other events. And for sure, a great gym, a circular gym, again, quite different. This is part of this whole hub. For the whole experience, some of them already recommended by Eli. At Cosme, it's so easy to venture out to Naxos, or of course relax in the private beach club, but also highly recommended is the catamaran tour. We just acquired the catamaran, so it's highly recommended for your clients. You can book it directly through us, or the concierge would deal directly with the clients if needed. So this is a highly recommended activity as well. An insider tip, dry revitada, it's chickpeas actually, but so well presented with truffle on the top, a traditional recipe of Paros, but with a twist of our great chef, of course. Thank you for attending. I don't know if you have any questions. In any case, I would be happy to reply here, or you can send me an email. Thank you, and we're looking forward to seeing your clients. And now,
Maria, lovely. Thank you so much. That was absolutely stunning. 2 beautiful properties. You know, you've got pretty much the whole family. You've got everything covered for both of those stunning properties. So thank you so much for sharing that. We've also shared a few activities. And a great combination is what we're going to be able to move on to, is straight on to Naxos, to combine both Paros and Naxos together. So Maria, if you could just stop sharing your screen, and then I can move on to the next slides from there. That'd be great. Lovely. Super. So we're going to carry on our journey. So Ellie, do you want to take us through a few little more details about the beautiful island of Naxos?
Thank you. Yeah, so moving on to Naxos, which is the largest island in the Cyclades. It has plenty of room to cater for those interested on food, active adventures, or those seeking the authentic Greek culture. They've got sea caves and hilltops, which offer a range of fun activities for all ages and abilities, making this a great option for families, while remote beaches give more tranquility to those that are seeking some time to relax. So the beauty of Naxos can be discovered in its authentic atmosphere, stunning beaches, and its impressive architecture, combining Venetian and Cycladic elements. So for the island highlights, venturing into the island of Naxos, a half-day sightseeing tour can include the Portara Gates, Naxos Castle, and taking the atmosphere on a walking tour of the old town. Guests can discover a more traditional Naxian culture with a tour of the villages of Naxos, a light hike to an olive oil farm, and sample local delicacies in Apiranthos village. Another main highlight of Naxos are its beaches. For many, the shallow emerald waters offer the ideal escapism, especially for those with young families. And of course, the food and culture. So a popular option amongst guests is the opportunity to delve into the traditional Greek culture with a culinary tour of Naxos, and they can explore archaeological sites with tastings of local cheeses, Naxian potatoes, and citron, which is a citron liqueur produced on the island, and it's been distilled there for over 100 years in the Halki village. And this distillery is still working today, so guests can actually visit that as well. So after visiting the cultural highlights, guests can relax with local Greek coffee at a nearby taverna, taking in the traditional ambience of the island. And another must-do on the island, which was actually the highlight of my visit, is the organic wood-fired cooking class, which Konstantinos arranged for us. So I'm sure he can tell you more about that. And then, of course, there's the family-friendly activities. So with natural scenery in abundance, Naxos is ideal for families to enjoy the island's beaches, sea caves, and the traditional villages. And guests can learn about the Greek myths on our family-friendly Naxos Island half-day excursion, where they'll visit the Temple of Demetra and live locally with a picnic lunch. And after their trip to a Naxos market, they can find the Greek specialities and have their lovely picnic in the sun. And as always, our A&K guides are on hand to provide local expertise for your family to have a unique experience.
Beautiful, super. So there's a lot of action-packed activities that we can get through on the islands. That's great. Ellie, thank you so much. And Konstantinos, do you want to take us through the Naxian collection for ourselves? I'm going to stop my screen if you want to share with us.
Okay, can everybody see my screen?
It looks great, yeah.
All right, perfect. So hello everyone, my name is Konstantinos. I'm the general manager of the Naxian collection. I am from Naxos myself, so I hope I can give you a very good idea about it. So I'm going to skip this slide with the location, as I believe you're aware where Naxos is by now. So starting with the Temple of Apollo, which is the landmark of Naxos, there is a lot of archaeological interest, a lot of old Byzantine chapels and churches, as well as ancient archaic temples, and a ton of tiny villages that are very different from each other. Naxos, you have to understand, is a very green island in comparison to other Cycladic islands. There is a lot of local produce there. So we pride ourselves on the local gastronomy. And these are some of the villages and the cute alleys there are. And there's also miles and miles of amazing sandy beaches that are also very different from each other. You have options that are more crowded, like Agios Prokopios and Agia Anna, Plaka Beach. Then you have smaller beaches that are more remote. So you can, if you're lucky, find a small private beach. And the island itself is very family friendly. The majority of our guests are actually families and honeymooners. There's a lot of activities also for families, and Naxos it's more chill, so families tend to like it because of that. This is the private beach in front of our sister hotel that our guests at the Naxos Collection can also use. And just regarding activities, there's really a ton, from ranging between water sports, scuba diving, sailing in catamaran, island, horseback riding and hiking, and then the cultural tours. And of course, we are focused on the gastronomy tours, like Ellie mentioned. And we're fortunate enough to have been visited by Anthony Bourdain at the organic wood fire cooking class that we offer, which is really an amazing experience. We take guests to a remote farm, to the family farm. There's a lot of history behind that place as well. There's buildings from the 16th century, and all the produce comes from there. There's olive trees that range between 600 and 2,500 years of age. We make our own oil, so everything from farm to table, as pure as it gets. But to the hotel itself, it's a family-owned hotel. We've been part of small luxury hotels for the past 6 years now. And the Naxos Collection is a complex of standalone villas and suites with private and semi-private pools. We have a garden at the hotel where we grow our own vegetables for the restaurant, some chicken coops where our guests can pick their own eggs for breakfast. So we're focusing a lot again on the local produce. And the way the hotel is built, it's on the backside of a hill overlooking Agios Prokopios beach. So most of our rooms have a long distance sea view. The beach is about 800 meters from there. And a lot of materials from that piece of land were used to build the hotel. There's a lot of granite stone that came from that very piece of land. And all elements are in a state of tranquility. There's nothing too fancy, nothing shiny in our interior. It's very natural colors and elements. So this, for example, would be the entry-level suite. And now we're moving on to the villas that were renovated just before the pandemic, so they're pretty new. Again, here we followed a different approach to the traditional whitewashed Greek island interior, but again, something that's coming and that totally resembles the vibe of the place. And yes, we have the suites, the entry level, they're fairly big, about 40 square meters, and you have a few options up to the 4-bedroom villa, which is ideal for large families. We have a whiskey collection that is our latest addition with, we call it the Whiskey Library. It has more than 600 labels from all over the world, so our guests are very happy about that. And of course, our wine cellar, where we host wine tastings, and we also do private dinners there. We've done a few for wedding proposals or for anniversaries. It's always a great idea. And yeah, again, a picture of our restaurant. that I said is farm to table. It's slow food focused, and there we serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Yeah, so this is it pretty much.
Konstantinos, I've got a quick question just regarding the suites. Do all of the suites have their own kitchens?
So the premium suites do not. The grand suites and all of the villas do. Okay. So you only have one room type without kitchen, but truth be told, none of our guests really use it. Even if it's usually people with babies, we always tell them that if they want us to prepare something or want to heat something up, we'll take care of that in the kitchen, so they don't have to worry about creating a mess or anything.
Yeah, why would you when you've got the beautiful restaurant to eat at as well? So yeah, I know I'm not wanting to be cooking when I'm on holiday sometimes. Perfect. So everybody, thank you so much. If anyone's got any questions to go along, I haven't got anything in here at the moment, but if anybody does have any questions you'd like to ask myself, Ellie, Maria, or even Konstantinos, then do let us know. And we really want to thank you so much for having the opportunity. Maria, Konstantinos, thank you so much for sharing your beautiful properties with us. Greece has obviously been probably top 3 destination across Europe this year, and we're already seeing it's going to be off the charts again for next year. So we're very, very excited to be now featuring Naxos and Paros. So we're really looking forward to that. Amy, you have a question. What's your question? Just waiting for Amy to type her question, hopefully. Well, if there are any other questions, let us know. Okay, Amy's asking, would you skip Mykonos to do these? Simple answer, yes. I would definitely, I think it's looking for somewhere different. Mykonos has obviously got incredibly busy. It's very, very popular over the years, and a lot of clients now are looking for the real, more authentic Greece. And I definitely think these islands have that authenticity about them. Maria and Konstantinos, I'm sure you'll agree with that. It'd be great to be able to have a little bit more of a quieter, authentic feel about it.
Maria, you're muted there.
There you go.
So it's quite unspoiled. Both islands are quite unspoiled, and reminds you a lot of Mykonos years ago. And of course, it also depends on the guests. What they're looking for. So if they're looking something more relaxed, still quite popular, still vivid places, but not like the crazy, the party.
With their party islands as such, yeah, it's a little bit more quieter from that point of view. So it really depends on what the client's looking for, then, doesn't it? Also, a couple more questions.
I would suggest, Andy,
oh, sorry. Yeah.
Is obviously Athens is a great starting point because of the flights. But yeah, I would definitely suggest swapping Mykonos with Naxos and Paros, and then they can continue to Santorini. And I believe that you can fly back to the US from Santorini, so they can do quite a nice loop without having to go back to Athens just for a pre-night before their early morning flight. So yeah, it's a great alternative to Mykonos.
Lovely, thanks, Ellie. They're also asking whether there's the air service is operating daily from Athens. So Maria, Konstantinos, for the flights operating daily.
Yeah, we have about 9 daily flights during the summer from Athens. So yeah.
For Paros, a few more, I think.
Okay,
yes.
Perfect.
There are many flights, many flights.
And Christina Smith's asking, you know, have we have any? She's got some clients who are deciding between Naxos and Paros. Gosh, this is going to be a fight between both of you here, and also between Athens and Santorini. So, as Ellie's just mentioned, I think it's good to be able to have that combination of obviously flying into Athens. You could potentially come on to Santorini and then even do both islands from there. So you can combine all across those islands, depending on how long the clients have obviously got. In terms of recommendation, Maria Konstantinos, how long would you normally recommend for a lot of our travelers to spend on each of the islands?
Well, I know. I mean, for Paros, I'm guessing it's almost the same as Naxos. People tend to stay quite longer because, they're exploring the island, they're relaxing. But for sure, I would say 3 nights each on each island. I know Americans are doing it for 2 nights as well.
Yeah. It's a variety. So you can stay there for longer if you want more relaxation. But equally, it's great to be able to, when you're island hopping and doing, kind of the 2-3 nights would be typical between each. So that's great, Maria. Thank you.
So we usually have an average stay of between 4 to 5 nights.
Okay.
And it also depends. If it's people who come to Greece for the first time and they're on their island hopping itinerary, they usually tend to stay less, like 3 nights. But if it's people who've been to Greece before, they've seen Mykonos and Santorini, for example, then they stay for longer periods of time, like a week or maybe more.
Perfect. I mean, we do have a lot of repeat clients now. It's not just, it's one of those destinations that you go to and you believe that you've seen it once and that's it. There's so much variety on a lot of the islands. So we're getting a lot of repeat visitors, which is why, Paros and Naxos lend themselves so well. If you've visited before, again, there's something new even to go and discover on the 2 islands as well. Justin, Christine, and we just had a couple of questions about whether this webinar is recorded. So yeah, you can watch it in the time. We'll do a bit of a follow-up and you'll be able to watch the full webinar back. So that's not a problem at all. Marty's asking whether you're both members of Signature Travel Network.
No.
Unfortunately.
No, for our brand, it's only Mystic.
Okay, fine. Lovely. That's great. Well, thank you very much. Guys, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it. And we're absolutely looking forward to the bookings flooding in for next year. So thank you for your support as always. And everybody, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. We really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks. Take care.
Have a good evening.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, bye.